On today's show, all that and more right now on Options for Youth. So today we're here at Sir Charles Tupper Secondary in Vancouver, asking some questions about vaping. Is it right for everybody? Getting some good answers. Let's go check it out.
My name is Art Steinman. I'm the manager of substance use health promotion and the SASI program for the Vancouver School Board. We're doing an evening workshop for parents and caregivers, and the topic is connecting with youth around vaping. Vaping has kind of taken off really across the country and across North America. Statistically, close to 25% of youth have tried vaping at some time, so it's a significant number of young people. A lot of people don't really understand vaping too well, and a lot of people think it's pretty harmless, and they don't realize there's very high concentrations of nicotine. Unfortunately, we see young people who just try it out because they maybe like the juice and the flavors and the smells and things, and their friends are doing it, and they don't really think much of it. But then they move into the nicotine, and then sometimes just in a few weeks they're starting to use really high dose nicotine, and they can become very dependent on it. And that means that they actually go into withdrawal throughout the day. They need to vape to just normalize, and it can be a very hard habit to shake.
Annie and Ruby have both seen the effects of marketing on teens.
Well, we are part of the SASI program, so it's like an organization where we work to help prevent drug and alcohol abuse among teens. So we're putting on this event, and we have a bigger one coming up called Tupper Kicks Ash. And yeah, we're talking about vaping tonight with everyone, and the parents, the grade 7 parents are going to come through, and we're going to do some trivia with them and stuff. It's kind of like taking over youth a lot, like it's really like sweeping schools, and so it's important for parents, I think, to know about what their kids may be involved in. I feel a lot of them just think it's like cool, like they're like, yeah, and there's a lot of different models of vapes, so a lot of people think they're really like sneaky with them, and like, or they'll be really appealing looking. There's so many people that are doing it, so that's kind of just like a subconscious peer pressure.
It's kind of more in younger grades that there's peer pressure to do it. Like personally, I was never pressured into vaping. I decided to do it myself in younger grades and then decided to stop because it's not good for you. Vaping is all over social media because it's, like Ruby said, it's seen as being cool. I think it's more just you have a lot of exposure to it online.
Has media or marketing had an influence on your decisions around vaping?
Have you seen celebrities hitting their jewels?
Well, like everyone in David Dobrik's vlog has
Oh
a jewel.
yeah, and they're a huge thing. So people like obviously think he's really cool and like crazy. So they're like, oh, I want to be like him.
A lot of people, especially young people, I think it's more helpful to think of it almost more like a fashion item, or like a cell phone or a piece of technology. Like they're sleek, they're glamorous, they're cool, they're different colors, and you can become quite expert in the technology of it. So we want to do all we can to make sure that people have some information and also some support to help them to make healthy decisions.
I think that it's already getting better. In this school in particular, last year it was really bad. Like you couldn't walk into a bathroom without it smelling like some kind of vape juice. And this year, I've yet to walk into a bathroom and be like overcome with the scent. So it's definitely gotten better.
Yeah, I agree with Annie. It's already like dying out from last year, so that says something. It's like declined really fast. I think people are gonna grow up and realize that it's like really stupid and it's not really, you know? So yeah.
Lots of good information tonight at Sir Tupper. For more information, go to the Vancouver School Board website and check out SASI. I'm Kai, and this is Options for Youth. Hey, I'm Paige, and I'm here with Options for Youth on a Saturday morning at a Surrey Community Park, learning how these youth behind me are helping nature.
Today we have a public drop-in nature work party, which is an opportunity for the public to come and help us remove invasive plants from the park. The members of the public are here, but in addition to that, we have some volunteers from Girl Guides, we have volunteers with the Canucks Autism Network, and also some of our Surrey Youth Stewardship Squad youth volunteers. Today we're focusing on Himalayan blackberry. So if you can see, some of the blackberry canes are really tall, and they're also really prickly. So we start off with some snippers and snip the tall, we call them canes, the blackberry canes, snip them and put them into bags, and that's mostly just for safety. So we're getting some of the big long pieces into the bag, and then it's a more manageable plant to dig out. It's not sticking up in the air and hitting people in the face when then they're digging out the root balls. And the root balls are really the most important thing that we're trying to remove, because that's what's going to sprout back up again. So if we just cut all the plants down and walked away and left everything in the ground, they'll just keep growing back. So the root balls, which are really big and big and kind of ugly, that's probably the most difficult part to remove, but it's definitely the most important, because that'll keep the plants from popping back up again in the spring and just taking over all over again. And it's important just to help improve the habitat of our forested areas and make for a healthier environment.
Okay, and what brings you out here on a Saturday morning?
Well, I've always been passionate about the environment, and I've been looking around for volunteering opportunities, and I found this CIS, and it's honestly one of the best things I can do to help the planet. And it's really engaging, because usually when you want to help the environment, there's not many things that you can do directly, but this is something that you can really get in and make yourself feel that you're making a difference. It's awesome because everybody knows each other, and it's just a fun time.
It's kind of fun pulling up roots, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so how did you manage getting this out? What are some techniques?
You want to like kick the shovel in and go around it so that it loosens it up, and then you just kind of want to pull it out.
Just to yank it out?
Yeah,
seems reasonable.
The plant itself, Rubus arminiacus of the family Rosaceae, is a biennial. So each individual cane will live to be about 2 years.
Oh, wow.
The root system, on the other hand, is perennial and will keep shooting out canes year after year after year until you pull it out. They loop, like they make little arches.
Right.
And so if one of the canes, a year-old cane, just comes in and then it arches and then it hits the ground, it does something called tip rooting. It'll send out adventitious roots from the tip, and then it'll root there, and that makes a new root ball, which then sends out more shoots. And then this happens.
Okay, and what was your name?
Zoha.
Zoha. And what are you doing out here today? What brings you out?
We're gonna help the environment.
Yeah.
Because they will grow over the other plants, and then it'll be all blackberry, so we're cutting them up so other plants can grow.
I saw you working hard. Is that hard out there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, I think it really shows how important it is and how appealing it is of an activity for all ages. So from the Girl Guide leaders teaching the young girls environmental stewardship and getting them involved from an early age. Our youth volunteers get volunteer hours for it and are also helping the environment. And yeah, I think it's something that's good for everyone. One of our busiest times of year is in the spring. We have a program called the Environmental Extravaganza. It starts with Earth Day. The city holds a big Party for the Planet Earth Day event. That's the kickoff. And then between then and early June with World Oceans Day, there's over 100 free events and programs hosted both by us at the city and lots of community partners. There's everything from drop-in volunteer events, film showings, nature walks, birding walks, all across the city, all free, and there's really something for everyone. So people could find out about all of the events and programs we have at surrey.ca/parks.
Well, I sure learned a lot here today from the Surrey youth community about nature and how to get rid of these invasive species, and I hope you did too. This is Paige signing off from Options for Youth.
After the break,
it kind of encourages other women to step forward, and then it becomes more of a community.
Options for Youth will be right back.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Hey, loser.
Leave me alone.
When a child shares hurtful comments online, that's bullying. Visit erasebullying.ca to learn how to help your child stand up to cyberbullying.
Welcome back to Options for Youth.
Today is Systems Fair 2020. It's the largest annual tech-based career fair in SFU's Surrey campus. So SFU's Surrey campus is basically a home for two of the most largest tech programs in Simon Fraser University specifically. It's Mechatronic Systems Engineering and Software Systems, and Sustainable Energy Engineering as well, which is a new program. We have around 800 to 1,000 students studying here. And this is the largest annual opportunity for them to actually speak to companies, speak to industry representatives, find out about the jobs available, what are the careers that are possible for them when they graduate, so they can actually build their skills in the areas that they are most interested in, rather than absorbing all the knowledge from school without actually knowing where they want to go after. So today we have around 14 companies here. Some of them are local exhibitors, some of them are national, some of them are multinational. And these companies are here to actually have industry representatives from actual engineers as well as HR, where people can speak to them directly and see how their job will look like.
So I'm here to hopefully expand my career as a mechatronics student at SFU. I think job search at any point in time is scary, especially for the first time in university. So just being able to talk to recruiters, talk to employers, and understand what they're looking for, as well as kind of remove that first scary aspect of searching for a job, which is definitely a really useful thing, and I'm glad SFU is doing that here.
One of the best ways to kind of learn about different companies is come to these career events and talk to the companies and get first-hand experience about the working environment at different companies. And this is really useful because you can talk to people who actually work on the position that you're interested in, and this is going to be helpful for you to choose your next position. When you come to the career fairs, you kind of bring some sort of a face-to-face aspect to applying for the jobs, and you can actually talk to the recruiters, and some of them give you in-person interview, which is much more useful than just applying online, because sometimes you apply online and your resume never get looked at, but being here in the career fair, you are hiring your chances of at least getting an interview, which is really important.
I think there should definitely be more women in STEM and tech. It's a scary thing because it's a very male-dominated field, but it's a perfect place to, I know a lot of women are very technical-minded, but they're too scared of like the math or the physics, but I think even if you're worried about something, just go for it. I myself thought it was a kind of a scary field to go into, but once you really learn that it's just a very fun thing to do, STEM, whether it's like science or engineering, coding, anything like that, it's just a very interesting field to go into, and I think women should be more excited about trying to explore something new.
I think for sure, like women's like starting to like get into technology, like technological like fields more. Like I feel like we can say like we're like the examples of that.
So I think when the first woman who is like, I'm going to do this, start joining all these difficult male-dominated fields, it kind of encourages other women to step forward, and then it becomes a more of a community. So that's something that representation can definitely be changed and increased, and it just takes a few women to step up and say, yeah, I can do this, and then you'll encourage and inspire many more.
I'm really glad that this thing is happening, and I believe it will continue to grow. We're getting more traction with more companies. We have around 50% new companies showing up this year that didn't show up last year, which increases our networking list, people who know about MSc students, and also helps companies know what kind of talent are there.
It was great. There were a lot of companies here. I get to talk to them and ask questions about the work environment, and a lot of them got my resume, and it was a great experience.
After the break,
it's hands-on and you can really directly help.
Options for Youth will be right back.
Kids Help Phone.
Hi. Can I talk to someone?
Sure. You can talk with me.
Okay.
It's okay. Take your time.
I want to kill myself.
Okay. I'm really glad you called. Are you in a position to hurt yourself right now?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you talk to me about how you're feeling, and I'll just listen.
Okay.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Welcome back to Options for Youth.
SHARP stands for the Salmon Habitat Restoration Program. It's a youth program focused on environmental work. So we'll do restorations and try to improve salmon habitat.
I care a lot about the natural environment, and I'm really interested in nature and all that entails. The SHARP program is something that it's hands-on and you can really directly help.
As a SHARP crew member, we do a lot of invasive removal, like blackberry and morning glory. And we also take care of our stream beds by picking up garbage, and we clean pollution. We make weirs, as you can see here. It's a bridge of rocks, which lets the water circulate and collect air, and the air will release oxygen into the streams.
In this behind us, it was originally just a drainage ditch. So what we're doing is we're kind of trying to change the way that stream is, or that system is working. So by building up the rocks, the water's going to kind of build up on one side and tumble over. And as it does that, there's more oxygen in the water. And that also will have an impact on the stream bed. So spawning gravel will accumulate on the upstream side, and then on the downstream side, there's going to be a big kind of plunge pool that goes in there, just kind of creating some diversity and habitat for any fish coming up through there.
I think this is such a good way to give back to the environment for what it's given me. And being with a crew, with my fellow high school, I think it's really cool how we can make such a profound impact on the environment.
I really wanted to do it because I've always loved being outside, and not only is it being outside and keeping active, but it's also giving back to the environment and the community as well.
The City of Surrey kind of sponsors the project. They've kind of gone on a mission to take youth from Surrey all over the city and kind of give them opportunities to have meaningful work experiences where they're learning about the environment and getting out and doing good work where the people of Surrey can see them and they can see the impact that they're having. This is like a gravel extraction site or a rock quarry that the city has used for some years for any of their projects. So up the ways quite a way, maybe a couple 100 meters, and up a big hill, there's a big pile of rocks that we've been going to and filling up wheelbarrows, and the kids have been bringing them down. And it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of effort to get them all down here, but they're all pretty gung-ho to go get in there and get their hands dirty and work hard.
The things that I've learned about the salmon habitat is that it's really fragile, and anything will make a big impact in the long run for many generations. It's good that we're doing this because salmon are keystone species. We need them for our ecosystem to survive.
It's great, meaningful work that they get. They're learning all sorts of teamwork skills, learning how to work with each other. For a lot of these kids, this is their first job. We have some that just finished grade 10. It's been a bit of a learning experience for some of them, I think, but everyone's already made it a long way.
For someone who's sitting at home and wondering whether or not they should do this, I would tell them that they definitely should. I was hesitant about joining as well. I thought, oh, I don't know if I could do this, but I'm so glad I did it because you're outside, you're being active, you're not sitting on your couch, and it's out, and you learn a lot of different stuff too, and you get a lot of different experiences, like working in the rain and in rivers, and usually it's not this rainy, usually it's nice and hot, but it's a great exercise too for you as well.
If you like working outside, if you like being with nature, and if you like working as a group, this is a perfect opportunity for you because it includes all of those things.
Well, that's a wrap from us here at Options for Youth. If there's a story you'd like to see or you'd like to get involved, you can contact us through our website, or you could also check out our Instagram or YouTube channel to see past stories.
Options for Youth is brought to you by Options Community Services.